Alright, it has been 1 year and roughly 6 months since I last posted an actual video on this YouTube channel, and I figured it was time for an update. So it was February of 2022 that I completely stopped selling on Amazon. As you can see from the sales history, there's some sales history there, then all of a sudden it stops in February of 2022. I posted a video a few months prior on this channel to release the new version of New Price. I think it was like November 2021, and I haven't posted an update since then because I haven't been selling on Amazon and I haven't had very many videos to make other than some live streams we've done in the meantime. So I wanted to give an update on why I stopped selling on Amazon, what my plans are for the future of selling on Amazon and for this channel, just to give you guys a little update into what's going on. So from the start of my Amazon account back in 2015 up until when I stopped in February of 2022, I sold well over $1 million on Amazon. I believe the year 2021, so the full year of 2021, I think it was like $799,000 something, $900. It was a few dollars away from $800,000 for that entire year. Now, I had started traveling full time back in like 2020 when COVID happened, and my full focus was on marketing for Scout IQ. I didn't want to devote tons of time to my Amazon business, but I still wanted to sell on Amazon, especially since I had an account that was around for a while, and I really wanted to sell on Amazon to be able to build a better product with Scout IQ. So I chose to outsource most of my selling. I chose to sell primarily on consignment. Since I had an account that was based in 2015, I was allowed to sell popular textbooks. It's a category of restricted textbooks because they're commonly counterfeited that most new sellers, probably after the year like 2016, 2017, were no longer able to start selling. And so since I could sell these books normally had a much higher value because they were textbooks. So people would go to stores, scan these books, see that, hey, I could make $100 from this, but I'm not eligible to sell it. They'd sell it to someone like me on consignment, or someone like Avery or Caleb. And then if we had an account that could sell it, we would sell it on our account. Now, over 2020 and 2021, the majority of accounts that were able to sell popular textbooks got shut down. They'd get a counterfeit claim against their account. The normal process would be that they'd shut down, they'd file an appeal with Amazon, they'd get reinstated, but they'd no longer be able to sell popular textbooks. Well, I knew this would eventually happen to my account, but I figured as long as I had the ability to sell popular textbooks and I was being careful to monitor for counterfeits, there was no reason not to sell on consignment. So I believe it was from roughly 2019 all the way until when I stopped selling in 2022 of February, I sold nearly 100% on consignment. I did have a warehouse for a short period of time where I'd list some consignment books myself, but the majority of books were listed by other sellers straight onto my account, and they managed all of that. I would just issue them payment for their share at the end of the month. Well, February 2022 rolled around and my account got shut down for 3 copyright infringements or counterfeit claims against the account. It had been going for a long time, and so I figured it eventually happened, and it did finally catch up. It happened. The problem is that the process changed. So the law firm that's shutting down these accounts is hired by the larger textbook manufacturers to try and find counterfeits. They used to shut down an account, like I said, you do an appeal, Amazon reinstated you, you could sell, just not popular textbooks. Well, they started going through Amazon Legal instead of just the normal appeal process. So I wasn't even able to file an appeal with Amazon. They said you have to work directly with this law firm. We can't do anything until they give the go-ahead. There's no way we can reinstate your account. So things had changed a little bit from when it had started happening originally and when I was expecting the course of things to happen. We tracked down where those books were sold from. They were just picked up at thrift stores from a few different sellers. We knew where each of those 3 that they had claimed had come from. I had no photos of the books. I had no evidence to prove otherwise. They wouldn't supply evidence to prove their claim unless you took them to court for it. So basically I was at a standstill unless I spoke to the law firm and moved forward with them. So I chose to do that. I believe it was probably shortly after March or April, right after the account was shut down. And the initial amount they wanted to settle the case and tell Amazon it was okay for me to sell on Amazon again was substantially higher than I'd ever heard them quote for another seller. Typically, I'd seen $1,000, $2,000 per title they found as counterfeit. My claims were significantly higher than that for the 3 books that were found. So I basically told my attorney to tell them I couldn't do that. Like it's not worth it for me to do that since I'm selling on consignment. I'm taking a much smaller percentage of the sales. So even though it looks like I sold 800,000 on Amazon last year, I saw a very small percentage of that come back to me. So it's not worth it to pay a six-figure sum to just get my accounts reinstated if that's what I continue to plan on selling. So time went on, they lowered again. I told them I still couldn't do it. Fast forward almost an entire year, every month or two they'd get back and lower the price a little bit. Eventually we got to a point that we could agree upon it. I wanted to get my account back, not necessarily to sell on Amazon again, I just wanted the ability to sell if I ever chose to. Technically, according to Amazon's terms of service, once your account is banned, you as a person, your social security number, your name, no matter what business you're associated with, you are no longer allowed to sell on Amazon according to their terms of service. So I couldn't just start a new Amazon account, or I could, but I would run the risk of in the future that coming back to bite me when that account gets shut down because it's somehow linked to me. So I wanted my name to basically be free and clear. So it was worth it for me to pay something for that. So long story short, we had about 9,000 locked up in the account for that year from a payout that was about to happen when it got shut down. And I settled for roughly around $12,000. And so I put up some of my own money, took that money that was just sitting in the account because it got released when it was opened up, and paid the settlement with that. So as of, I think it was a month ago, my account was completely reinstated. It took well over a year to get that whole process done. And it was a lot more time intensive than I initially expected it to be, and costly, because normally it didn't cost anything for most people to get their account back. But that is why I haven't been making updates on my Amazon account or my sales, is because I haven't been selling that past year. Which, like I said, most of it was outsourced anyways up to this point. I mostly did consignment, so it wasn't like a huge burden on me. I was still pouring myself into Scout IQ and doing marketing and everything else that went along with that. And for those of you that have followed Scout IQ, Caleb, my story, you know that we sold Scout IQ in December. And so we are out of the software game for Amazon as well. So it's an interesting point right now where we're no longer making software to sell on Amazon. Caleb has pretty much stopped his Amazon business. I've stopped involuntarily for the past year. And so right now I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do with the account, but at the moment I'm not going to be selling on Amazon. I'm going to take a break and step back from Amazon and focus on a few other ventures, focus back on marketing. I love affiliate marketing. I've made a couple videos of that on this channel before. I'm going to go back and focus on that for a while. And I don't know, the future may bring me back to Amazon. It may eventually bring us back into making software for Amazon. Either way, I still want to be involved in the community. But I'm going to use this channel now to shift from my fully Amazon focus over to the new entrepreneurial endeavors I'm going into. I'm actually sitting in a new investment property we just closed on last week. We're going to be turning this into a short-term rental. And so I'm going to document the process for you guys, what it looked like finding the property, what it's going to look like fully furnishing this, and hopefully within the next 30 days, what it's going to look like opening it up, and then what the sales figures look like after that, if it was worth it, or if it's better to eventually turn this back into a long-term rental. So I'm going to cover that on this channel. If you guys initially followed me for Amazon content, you won't see much of that anymore, so you can click that unsubscribe button if you really don't want to see other content. But if any of this else does still interest you, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Like this video so I know you want to see more content like that, and I'll start updating you guys on future entrepreneurial endeavors I jump into. I've recently started a new affiliate marketing spin, not an affiliate website, something completely different. And the last 3 days in a row, it's actually made $200 a day. So I'm going to keep that up for a little while, make sure I validate that it actually works for a longer period of time. And then I'll be happy to share with you guys what I'm doing there, because it's made some good money with very little effort involved, and nearly anyone can do it. There's some things that'll hold beginners back, but other than that, it's pretty much something anyone can get into. So I'll dive more into that later on if you guys are interested, once I've made a little more with that and can verify it actually works long term. So thank you guys.